Christopher Hitchens says religion poisons everything. Richard Dawkins says science disproved God. Bart Ehrman says the Bible is full of errors. And almost every atheist ever says Jesus never claimed to be God. I'm going to prove in the next couple minutes that they're lying. 4 lies. Let's debunk them. Lie number 1, science has disproved God by Richard Dawkins. Dawkins says science has disproved God. Okay, which scientific experiment proved there is no God? Name it. I'll wait. Oh, there isn't one? That's what I thought. Science studies the natural world, things that are measurable, testable, repeatable, things you can examine under a microscope. God, by definition, is supernatural, outside nature. Saying science disproved God is like saying a metal detector disproved love. It's the wrong tool for the job. And science has actually done the opposite of disproving God through the Big Bang. The universe had a beginning, everything that begins has it caused. Therefore, there must have been a Big Banger. Fine-tuning, 30-plus physical constants perfectly calibrated for life point to a fine-tuner. In DNA, information requires an information giver. You see, while science can't necessarily prove God, since God is outside nature, the evidence that we see through science points to an intelligent personal designer. And here's the one that really keeps scientists up at night. Science itself requires the uniformity of nature, the assumption that the laws of physics work the same way tomorrow as they do today, the same in Australia as they do in America. But why would nature be uniform? On atheism, there's absolutely no reason to expect the universe to behave consistently. It's just atoms bouncing around randomly. There is no intelligent purpose behind the universe. Proteins aren't conscious, personal, moral, and don't create moral, conscious, personal creatures. Only a creator who designed a consistent, orderly universe gives you any reason to trust that science will work the same way tomorrow as today, or that it will work the same in Australia as it does in America. Every time a scientist walks into a lab expecting their experiments to be repeatable, they're borrowing from the Christian worldview without knowing it. So science is literally impossible without Christianity. The more we discover scientifically using God to ground the uniformity of nature, which is essential for science, the more evidence points to a creator. Dawkins didn't get the memo. Line number 2, religion poisons everything, by Christopher Hitchens. Christopher Hitchens, one of the most famous atheists who ever lived, wrote an entire book claiming religion poisons everything. That's a bold claim. Let's check the facts. Let's talk about what Christianity specifically has given the world. So there's hospitals invented by Christians, universities such as Harvard, Yale, Oxford, all founded by Christians. Abolition of slavery, led by William Wilberforce and John Newton, both devout Christians. In fact, John Newton was one who wrote the hymn Amazing Grace. There's science itself, which was founded by men such as Newton, Faraday, Kepler, and Mendel, who were all Christians. And then let's talk about what atheism gave the world. So we've got Stalin, about 20 million dead. We've got Mao Zedong, about 45 million dead. We've got Pol Pot, about 2 million dead. Thanks, atheism. The 20th century is widely considered the bloodiest century ever. In fact, historians have said that if you added up all the centuries combined, the deaths in the 20th century beats them all, ranging from over 100 to 260 million deaths in the 20th century alone. And coincidentally, that was when atheism, and specifically evolution, began to really kick in and get introduced into the world. Is it a coincidence, though? Probably not. Hitchens called religion poisonous, that the most explicitly atheist regimes in history produced the greatest atrocities ever recorded. And on atheism, you can't even say that those atrocities were bad because you have no standard for good. And furthermore, pretend he's right. Religion poisons everything. Why would that be objectively bad? He's making a false claim using immaterial standards of morality he can't account for. His objection to Christianity is not only false, but proves a creator. Hitchens said religion poisons everything, but the history books say something completely different. Every time atheism has gotten full control of a government, the body count is in the millions.
Du jetzt deine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten bin.
You tell me which worldview is poisonous. Real quick, 98% of Gospelogical's viewers are not subscribed, and if this content benefits you, please subscribe, like, and comment. Otherwise, we won't know if you guys like this content. So smash that subscribe button, like this video, hit that notification bell, and drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, back to the goods. Lie number 3. The Bible is full of errors by Bart Ehrman. Bart Ehrman is a New Testament scholar who claims the Bible is riddled with errors. But wait, before we even get to the alleged errors, Ehrman is using the laws of logic to examine the Bible. Immaterial, universal, transcendent laws of logic, which his materialist worldview cannot account for. He's borrowing from the Christian worldview just to attack it. So when he says that the Bible can't be true because there are laws of logic that say things with errors are not true, he's proving God exists and that the Bible is true. Now, to get to his objection, what kind of errors are we actually talking about? We have over 5,800 Greek manuscripts of the New Testament, more than any other ancient document by far. Homer's Iliad has 1,800, Caesar's Gallic Wars has 10. So yes, there are many, many variants between manuscripts. But scholars confirm that approximately 99% of those variants are spelling differences, word order, synonyms, things like Jesus Christ versus Christ Jesus. Not one core Christian doctrine is affected by any manuscript variant. Not one. The resurrection? Secure. The deity of Christ? Secure. Salvation by faith? Secure. And the don't change the gospel message in the slightest. Ehrman built an entire career claiming the Bible is unreliable, while using logic he can't account for to attack a document that has more manuscript evidence than any other ancient text in history. He's living in insane denial. Furthermore, if we applied Ehrman's standards to Caesar or Plato, we'd have to throw out all of ancient history. So by his own standards, the Bible is more reliable than any other historical manuscript that we have. Lie number 4, Jesus never claimed to be God. Almost every atheist you'll ever talk to will tell you Jesus never claimed to be God, that the whole Son of God thing was invented later by his followers. Let's go straight to the source and see if they're right. John 8:58, Jesus says, "Before Abraham was, I am." Why does that matter? Because I am is the name that God gave himself to Moses in Exodus at the burning bush. The Jews standing there knew exactly what he was claiming, which is why they immediately picked up stones to kill Jesus for blasphemy. John 10:30, I and the Father are one. Again, the Jews picked up stones. Why? He was claiming to be God. He was making an explicit claim of unity with the Father. Real quick, if you want to check out a video where I respond to an atheist's objection to Jesus claiming to be God, you can click the link here. John 14:9, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. These aren't subtle hints. These are direct claims of godness. And keep in mind, every atheist who makes this claim is using immaterial laws of logic and reason to examine historical documents. A materialist worldview cannot account for the very tools they're using to attack Christianity. And it's not just the Bible. The Jewish Talmud, written by people who hated Christianity, confirms Jesus was executed for claiming to be God. Even your own hostile sources confirm it. If Jesus never claimed to be God, why did everyone who wanted him dead say that that was exactly why they killed him? Maybe because he did? Jesus claimed to be God so clearly and so repeatedly that his enemies killed him for it. The people who were there, who heard him with their own ears, had no doubt what he was claiming. He was being very explicit and very clear. The only people who seem confused about it are atheists 2,000 years later. 4 lies, 4 debunked. Science hasn't disproved God. It's pointing straight at him. Religion hasn't poisoned everything. It's built the hospitals, the universities, and the movements that ended slavery and secured civil rights. The Bible isn't full of errors. It's the most manuscript-supported document in ancient history. And Jesus absolutely claimed to be God. His own enemies killed him for it. Hitchens, Dawkins, and Ehrman are intelligent men, but intelligence doesn't make you right, and confidence doesn't make you correct. The truth doesn't change because smart people deny it, especially when they can't even account for the very tools they use to critique it. And our job as Christians is to point that out. Know what you believe and know why you believe it. See you next time.